Welcome to 2A Cops, Cops Supporting Gun Rights. I'm Keith, and in this episode, we're going to talk about new data from the FBI that shows a historic high in the number of gun retrieval orders that were done because of failed background checks between 2020 and 2021. Okay, so first off, before we get into this, I'm going to tell you at the very end, stay all the way through because I'm going to talk to you about how to avoid NICS in the first place and how to avoid the whole background check thing. But with that said, if you support cops being pro 2A and not enforcing unconstitutional gun laws, hit that like button, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell, and that way you know when we have videos coming up, because that's all we talk about is cops supporting gun rights. And we always throw in some helpful hints for you as well in every video, looking at it from a law enforcement background. So let's get back to this whole NICS retrieval order thing. So what's a retrieval order? Disclaimer, because I know you're going to go off in the comments. I don't support NICS checks. I think they're stupid. All right. I don't think any of this should be there. I'm just explaining a system to you. And then we're going to get into the end where we're going to talk about how to avoid this whole thing in the first place. Okay. So when you purchase a firearm, you fill out a 4473. Your FFL is going to go to a computer. Sometimes they can do it on the phone, right? But most people do it on the computer, and they type in your personal identifying information into the NICS computer or into the NICS system, right? It's like national information. I don't know. It checks your background to see if you can have a gun, right? Now, if you have an uncommon name like mine, then usually you get right when the FFL hits send, it comes back right away saying that person's clear to take the firearm, and then you go away. But if you have a very common name, or you have somebody that has a name like you with a similar date of birth, but they're a felon, they have big criminal history, have warrants, anything like that, bad for you, then you're going to get held up. Now, then it gets held into a delay. And within, if you live in free America, then within 3 days, after 3 days, and the FFL doesn't hear back, he's going to release the firearm to you. If you live in communist America, which would be California and those other states, then you're not going to get it back until something comes back from the FBI. And I've had friends that have had to wait over 30 days. I've had friends that are law enforcement officers. They're working for a police agency, and they're held up on a NICS check for over 30 days waiting to get a firearm. It shouldn't be that way for anybody, but it is what it is. Be like me and leave that communist state and go live in free America. Life is much better that way. All right. So with that said, what a retrieval order is it when after that gun gets released and that person fails that background check, then the FBI notifies the ATF and says, go pick up that firearm. Okay. And then they're going to go look for that person and go try and get that gun. The first stop is going to be to the FFL to get that 4473. Okay. So it's the FFL that keeps that 4473. All right. So that form that you fill out when you buy a gun. All right. So with that said, I don't think local law enforcement ever gets notified on these things. I think I had one the entire time I was a cop, like 29 years. Full disclosure, I'm recently retired. But I think we had one, and then we're like, what are we going to do with it? We don't care. And we sent it back to ATF saying, go handle it yourself. This is your issue. I know I am in a couple of FFL groups, and I've seen FFLs talk where the ATF has asked the FFL to go get the gun. If you're FFL and you're watching this, don't do that. You're not the cops. That's not your job. Don't help out the ATF. Okay. You don't have to do that. Let them go do whatever they're going to do. Okay. That's not your issue. Your job is not to go get guns. And you can tell them that. Okay. Don't do that. All right. I don't know why FFLs would, but there are some in there saying that they do. And I think that's the dumbest thing ever. Don't help the ATF. We don't. Now let's go back. We're going to talk about how to get around this in the first place, but let's look at the numbers. So there were 6,361 firearm retrieval referrals that were issued to the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms in 2020 and 5,200 in 2021. Now, this is the largest 2-year total since NICS, that criminal background check, began publishing data in 1998. Now, retrieval orders are only issued to a small portion of individuals who fail background checks. Individuals can challenge the denial or inquire about why the request was denied. Now, why did you get a retrieval? Most of the time, it's because you've got some kind of criminal history, or you got a pending criminal case, meaning you caught a criminal case, and sometimes you might not know about it. You caught a criminal case, the police are out trying to find you to talk to you about this criminal case, and then it comes up in that background check. That's happened before, but most of the time it's been my experience that people know why they failed that background check. Okay, so with that said, let's make this a short video and let's just get into how to get around this in the first place, right? If you buy a gun private party, there's no NICS check. If you live in a free state, right? If you live in communist America, California, and those other states where they record every firearm purchase, okay? My recommendation, leave that communist state and move to free America. That's what Matt and I did, okay? And I have bought guns private party and there's been no problems whatsoever, okay? If you buy a private party, okay, if you like, I don't like Arms List. I know there's other places to go, but Arms List is full of scammers. I'd be really careful about that. But you can go to any number of these personal sales websites and go on there and go find the gun you want and then go purchase it. And there's no background check. My only warning to you is that be careful about who you're buying it from, and that there are a lot of stolen guns that are bought and sold in that way. If you buy a stolen gun, just know that never goes away. That serial number is going to be hot forever. So if something were to happen, right, and normally that's because you brought attention to yourself, okay, through like domestic violence, DUI, something like that, and the police run that number, it's going to come back hot, and that's going to cause you problems. Now, if you live like me, I live a low profile lifestyle. I don't give anybody a reason to pull me over, do anything. Nobody would ever know anyways. Nobody would ever have a chance to run that serial number. So just my advice to you, okay? I'm not telling you to break the law. I'm just telling you, you don't always have to go through that stuff to buy a gun. So just my 2 cents. All right, that's it for now. Do me a favor, leave a comment, hit like. It helps the algorithm know that we're important and that other people share this and other people see it, and it helps us a lot, and I appreciate it. Last but not least, remember your ABCs, always be caring. Take care, stay safe.